it's all about behavior. How does it enact itself in real life? How does it manifest the world in which we live? And with school shootings, it's very real, and so it forces, and of course, I think a lot of these sorts of killers, they know they're going to kill themselves essentially, or be killed ultimately in the end. It's not that they think they can get away with it, because one of the things you can say about the modern age, DNA testing and everything included, is that getting away with heinous crimes is not exactly the option that it once was. You know, I think were Hitchcock to be around right now, he'd have to write a little more, well, he'd basically be a writer on CSI. Instead of the genius that he is, he'd probably have to kind of resort to one of these more technical shows. Much less suspense, just a lot of figuring things out. And that's where we live now. So, you know, who shot this person? Dude, we'll figure it out in 2 days, if not right now on the news. How do we deal with the person? How did he or she deal with himself before, you know, we got there? We'll cover that as well, but that's the only real question. It's not a matter of finding the person or accusing the person. It's a matter of time. So a lot of these people shoot themselves when they shoot others. And so it's clearly the entire design is their final statement. It's very statement heavy. And it makes a lot of sense to make this sort of statement. It's a statement that they're worth dying for, because in a lot of ways they feel that what they're stating, what they're kind of standing rather against, is essentially killing them. So it's kind of nipping it in the bud. You know, before I get out there, perhaps this Virginia Tech guy thought, before I get out there in the real world, where money is king, and this is the States, but it's you know, we're getting there. It's a very, globalization has made us all very much care about the buck. My question is there a McDonald's in your country? And if so, it's just a matter of time. Jammin' Tunes, check this one out. Man, it's really good to have this album. I've wanted this album for years. I just got it recently and I've worn it to death. It's fantastic, fantastic. Big ups to Stakka Bo. You guys have heard the one from '94. Fantastic. I think it's week 2. In fact, I know it's week 2. Fantastic. Just enjoy it. This is the third, and I believe to this point anyway, final album from him. Anyway, real solid. Okay, so anyway, do I feel insecure about my own safety in this town, or this state, or this country or world? Kinda. I mean, kinda. The only reason I don't get too freaked out about it is because it's pretty easily foreseen, in my opinion. Are we wasting too much electricity and therefore our natural, non-renewable resources? Yes. Now I realize wind power is, I know that there are alternatives, and I hope we, as Americans particularly, we wasteful folk, really pursue them. And that's the thing, I don't think it's about use so much as waste. We waste a lot here. I don't know if it's like this in your country of origin, or your country of residence, but here in the States, we like plastic bags for everything. We are in love with plastic. And it really does kind of get me. I'll be honest. I was a little irritated at my local supermarket. They've offered now in the automatic, the extra fast automatic checkout line, the one where you scan your own stuff. You do the labor, but the joy is you get out faster. Which is the American way. This is what fast food is. You do the bulk of the labor. You're driving the car. You drive around to the drive-thru. They hand it off. They prep the food. But I mean, even if you're eating inside, you dispense of your own trash. It's what we do here. And I know that a sociology professor of mine back in the day did not care for fast food for that very reason. Never minding the quality of the actual edibles. Anyway. So in this automatic checkout line, we now have an additional smaller, what the marketing people actually might brand as more convenient, sack offering. Like you know, you have your plastic sacks that you put all your stuff in if you want. I go paper personally, and I know that it's trees, but it's recyclable and it's the best we've got. Actually, to be honest, I'm one of those guys who actually walks out of the supermarket, and you're right. I know what well, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't mean to presume. But for those of you who joined me on my earlier vidcasts, when it was just me, you noticed I was all over the place in my speech. And when I had another individual with me, we were more on task. You know, we would deal with the issues at hand with more directness. And now that it's by me and by myself again, you know, I'm all over the place. So it's just, and it's No, it's what happens. It's what is. Quick little anecdote. I went to, my wife and I, you know, once every 2 weeks or so is really what it averages out to, but it depends on our decisions. She's real cool. And she actually said the other day, dude, you have got to sometimes, in order to really make your conversations work out best for the listener, tone back what you're saying, the volume and scale of what you're saying. And she kind of had to chuckle to herself and to us and say, you know, that has never crossed my lips in discussion, because the idea, particularly with males, is to get them to open up, to express themselves further. And she's like, you got to scale some of that back in order for it to be intelligible to other individuals. And that's totally right. I'm not doing that here. I'm quite aware of that, but this is, again, my free space. This is my free time. You know, and you know, you guys don't have to look at my videos. Shoot, I've been on. I've more or less kept up with who's what, or the frequency with which. No. What am I trying to say? Scratch it. My point is, don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. Anyway.